Punk Revolution now. Today we're going to be reviewing a classic, one of my all-time favorites. I feel like this record is one that I've listened to, I don't know how many times. Over 50 times, I think is safe to say. Maybe at this point, over 100 times is definitely within the realm of possibility since I first listened to this record over a decade ago. It's a classic. It's Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. I think most people who are, kind of within the realm of digging through indie and experimental music are well aware of this record, understand it's like the shoegaze record, etc., etc. I just want to give it a stab. I want to give reviewing this record a stab because it's such a mysterious and magical and complicated record. I feel like it's kind of a challenge in itself to really dig into and listen to and review, but I also feel like as a musician, I probably listen to it a little bit differently than the average person. I find a lot of things just so fascinating and so beautiful and moving in this record that, I think a lot of people find that this record beautiful and moving, but I feel like I want to articulate my thoughts and feelings because it's such an important record to me, and I feel like even though it's been written about and talked about so much, I feel like I do have I don't know, I feel like I have just kind of a unique perspective on it. Maybe I don't, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just want to talk about it because it's Loveless. It's My Bloody Valentine's Loveless. Let's just get the review started. Loveless, My Bloody Valentine, the classic. Punk Revolution, now let's take a look at the album cover. My Bloody Valentine, Loveless, pink fuzzy guitar, all weird looking. What do you think when you see all that and you're about to listen to a record? I actually don't know. I remember when I listened to this record, I was probably 15 years old when I first listened to it, and I think I had the typical kind of like, ooh, it's got these kind of like dark, edgy sort of names to it, and this kind of, emotional pink kind of guitar cover, but it's also an album that's acclaimed by indie nerds. What's gonna happen there? It's kind of weird. It's already a mysterious kind of like, what the heck is this record? Why is it? What is this? What is shoegaze? What's shoegaze? The first time you learn about shoegaze when you're 15 years old, you're like, that sounds epic. Shoegaze. The genre itself, shoegaze, the implication they're playing guitar, staring down at their shoes, that just sounds like so jaded, nihilistic, and so badass. And if you actually go back through My Bloody Valentine's discography, going back to You Made Me Realize, there's definitely some lyrics about just like, emotional tension and smoking cigarettes, and Isn't Anything is like really noisy and post-punky. I think My Bloody Valentine is a punk band, okay? I think so because I hear that in their Isn't Anything album, which is like super noisy and kind of edgy with these really, really sexual lyrics and really depressive kind of delivery and extremely noisy guitars. I don't know, I just feel like punk bands are smarter and better and are capable of making avant-garde masterpieces like Loveless. Regardless though, you got this edgy image, but when you actually get to Loveless and listen to Loveless, I don't know, I'm feeling a lot of love come through. This is a beautiful listening experience. I think the weird contrast between like the Loveless My Bloody Valentine title with the perplexing and fascinating and magical and beautiful listening experience of Loveless is just an extra dimension of just kind of like your brain like struggling to kind of fit all the pieces together that just kind of makes this album so magical and so mysterious and so beautiful. What I'm basically trying to get at is aesthetically, the aesthetics of this band, of My Bloody Valentine, it's just phenomenal. It's really cool. They're just a cool, sexy, awesome, mysterious band, and their music is cool, sexy, awesome, and mysterious, even if the name and album title are kind of misleading. The fact that it's misleading is kind of cool, sexy, and mysterious in itself. So that is all just me literally just talking about the album title. I haven't even got to the music. So let's press play. You press play, you hear Only Shallow. And by the way, folks, make sure you turn this album up. I guarantee you, if you listen to this album and you have the volume on low, you're not gonna hear crap, because this album is mastered to be pretty freaking quiet. Most songs that come out in 2022, you put the volume up at 75%, and that's plenty loud enough. My Bloody Valentine Loveless, you can put this all the way up to 90%, and then finally it gets loud enough. It's literally like just relatively quieter than music that's coming out nowadays, because that's how it was mastered back in the 90s. So turn the freaking volume up, you put on Only Shallow, and you hear these just big, catchy riffs. Simple guitar riffs, but they just sound big. Just big. And I love that contrast. Like, it's a quiet album. You gotta turn the volume way up to hear. But then when you actually do turn it up, it just is like a massive sounding record. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of a weird another kind of weird contrast. Like, how is a record so loud and so quiet at the same time? I don't know. It's magical. It's mysterious. You turn it up and you're like, wow, these guitar tones are awesome. Wow, these drums sound real punchy and catchy and kind of like dancey. Wow, these vocal melodies are really beautiful and quiet and whispery and smexy. But then, literally on top of this fantastic, beautiful guitar chord progression that sounds fantastic with these fantastic guitar tones, they have this lead guitar riff that's literally just going like, wee, 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 wee. It sounds so weird. I mean, it sounds good. The guitar tone is fantastic, but it's like, wait, so you're telling me you wrote this song that's like a fantastic opening song. This is your opening track on your album. Like, you gotta get the opening of the album perfect so you can get people to listen to the whole thing. You wrote this phenomenal song. Apparently you put, years and hundreds of thousands of dollars making this record, so you gotta make the first song good so you can make that money back. And you put it on, and you decide to put a guitar riff that literally is wow, wow, and that's weird. But you keep listening to it, and it's like, wait a second, this guitar riff isn't even playing in time right. It sounds like he's playing, and he's not even, like, it sounds like the chords are, like, getting ahead of him. Like, he's not playing the riff fast enough, and it's almost like he lost time with the rest of the band. Like, you can't even hear the rest of the band playing because it's so loud, and he's like, it's as if he just completely lost tempo. It's like, I don't know if there's delay on the guitar chord there, or guitar riff there, or if he's literally just playing it really weird. It's just jarring. It's like, what? That's such a weird choice to do. Like, I mean, like, look into the lore of this album. I'm not kidding when I said they, like, put so much time and money and energy. It's, like, probably one of the most intensely worked on albums ever. And then they decide to, like, just kind of fuck it up here and there. And it's not just only Shallow. You move on to the second track, Loomer, and that song is also full of its own weird dissonance. I mean, you got this, like, the guitar just pulsating. I can't really explain it so well because you just gotta hear it to believe it. And then you got this guitar riff on it that's like, and it's like, the melody is like beautiful, the vocal melody, but it's just like mixed so quietly, and it's like, what the heck? I heard that you're going into this record, it's like a beautiful cover, you heard it here, it's a beautiful record, you hear it's called Dream Pop, and you put it on and you're getting all this weird dissonance, but you're fascinated. That's what's going on. You're fascinated because it's like, wait. Well, surely the first two songs are pretty kind of dissonant and kind of weird. Yes, it's catchy, interesting guitar riffs and guitar tones, but like, surely this is like a pop record. Like, this has got to be like, it's got to be more accessible than this, right? Because it's dream pop and it's like one of the most famous records of all time. Surely the third song is gonna get a little bit more like something I can kind of grasp a little bit better, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's where Touched comes in. That's literally the song. It's ass. It's ass. But I like to tell people that's my favorite song on the record because I'm a music critic and they believe me. I just say, I think the frequencies on Touched are just magical and are unmatched by any shoegaze song in the world. And everyone believes me, but really no. I'm gonna keep it straight with you. That song is not a song you can listen to alone. Like, you gotta listen to it in the context of the album. The point is at this point, like, if you're not confused about what you're hearing, you're not understanding. The point is to be confused, okay? If it's so nerdy, but like, this album is special because of the listening experience, the sonic experience, the way this record literally feels on your ears is a critical component of the record. And it's so interesting, you know, like, if you're listening to like the Beatles on the train to work, okay? You can have the volume like at 60%, and obviously you're on the train, you're not gonna be able to hear all the details of the bass tones and the drums and everything, but you're gonna hear Paul McCartney's melody. And that's all you really need to hear, because that's going to cut through in the mix. You're going to be able to hear that on the train, and you're going to be able to, like, have a good time, you know, dancing to whatever song they're singing. My Bloody Valentine, Loveless, not only because it's mixed so quietly, or mastered so quietly that you got to turn the volume way up, but also, you got to turn that you got to turn that up, because this album only makes sense when it's just being like, the whole thing is just being like, sha. To Hear Knows When, I think this is a fantastic example of what I'm trying to get at. Like, so To Hear Knows When, it opens with this really beautiful, kind of like, it sounds like a fairy sprinkling dust in you, like, it's so like, oh my god, that's so pretty. What is that? Are those beautiful guitars with reverb and delay? Are those flutes? I don't even know exactly what's going on, but it sounds so beautiful. And it's like, after Touched, which is such a dissonant and weird song, to have this kind of like fairy sprinkled dust on you is like so beautiful. Like, and then you got the beautiful vocals. That just sounds so safe and like relaxed, and like it just feels like someone you can go give a hug and they're gonna hold you and love you. So it's a very beautiful song, and that's such a nice thing to kind of contrast the first three songs, which are real weird. But you got the fairy dust sprinkling up here, and you have the beautiful, gentle, beautiful, safe, beautiful, relaxing, lovely vocals here, and then like on top of that, you just put these loud guitars just going, like that's literally what they did. It's like, these are beautiful songs. You could play on the acoustic guitar and it'd be a great song. It'd be very simple chord progression, simple melodies, but you would like it. It'd be pretty. But My Bloody Valentine, they're saying, you know what? We wrote this pretty song. Let's have that beautiful melody, like, way down in the mix. Like, you might have to listen to the song twice to really finally, oh, that's the vocal melody. There it is. And those are the lyrics that I can only understand 25% of, but the 25% I understand are really nice, I guess. That's what this album is. This album is just straight up a fascinating listening experience. But I want you to understand, even though from someone who really appreciates the technicalities of music production and thinking about the EQ and blah, 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 like, it's not just that. It's not just that. Because, like, you're listening and it's like, okay, this guitar riff it sounds cool. The vocal, okay, cool. You know, I hear that vocal melody. That's really nice too. Okay, that's actually really pretty. Wow, the way the noisy guitars contrast with the beautiful vocal melodies that are so delicate. That's really beautiful. You're listening, and then all of a sudden, once this album finally starts to kind of fit into your brain properly, you hear like a harmony in the background. Something like that, you know. And you're just like, what? And then you're crying. And you're like, this is beautiful. This is not only is this just like a fascinating record to just dig into and try to comprehend, not only is it a fascinating and beautiful, magical listening experience where one song has the frequencies here, and then another song has the frequencies here, and the vocals are here, and the guitars are doing this, and the guitars are going like this. It's like, not only is it like just like a amazing like sonic experience that has you just laying in bed like, whoa, this is sick. But once it clicks with you turn the volume up. Not only is it a musical album to nerd out to, but it's one you're gonna cry to. It's an album that makes me want to cry because it just sounds like you're laying in bed, hugging someone you love. You're hugging someone you love, and you're crying. And that might sound cliche, but it's not. Because that's something that happens in life. There's gonna be times in life where you're laying in bed with your loved one crying. And that's a very powerful emotion. And that's what this album sounds like. Like, wait, you just made an avant-garde noise pop record that's like intentionally dissonant and putting beautiful elements way down there. You gotta dig to get to the beauty of this album. And then once you get it, it's like, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. What? And then also the percussion is kind of like electronic dancey in a weird way too. Like you want to kind of dance to it. Like, am I having fun? Am I doing like an analysis of like a complex math equation here? Or am I having an emotional breakdown? That is Loveless. That's how you understand Loveless. And I'm telling you again, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, turn the freaking volume up. Put it up. You can actually listen to this album at 100% volume. Don't tell anybody I told you to do that because it's probably not good for your ears, but you can do it. You can do it. At least sometimes, the song Sometimes You Can, which is, woo! Woo! And one other thing I really love about this record too, and I kind of already said this, that like I've listened to this record probably over 50 times, maybe 100 times, and I'm not exaggerating because, like I said, I listened to this when I was 15. I'm 26 now, so one thing I really love about this record is that like you can just feel, and you can just feel the incredible amount of effort that went into this record. Because a lot of these songs, like I said, like they could be played on an acoustic guitar, simple guitar riffs, no crazy guitar solos, simple melodies, and you know what? It would be beautiful still. They would be beautiful, beautiful, simple, awesome, cool rock songs, and that would be great. But they chose to make all these really complicated decisions. The funny thing with music is like, it's not necessarily like the more work you put in, the better it's gonna be. There's plenty of songs that are like some of the most popular, exciting songs of all time that were probably written in 20 minutes because the riff just came out like that. And then there's definitely songs out there where artists have frankly worked on it for months or years because they have a vision and they want to perfect it. And then it might just come out to be a pretty average song. That's just life. That's how music works. And My Bloody Valentine, like I said, read the Wikipedia page article on this. Apparently, it made their record label go bankrupt because they were putting so much money and time and effort into it, which is just insanity. Like you can, like I said, it doesn't always work out like this. But with Loveless, it really did work out, where all that time, effort, and energy pays off in a big way because you can hear, you can hear that every song has so much love and thought and perfection going into it. How do you take these simple elements, simple progressions, chord progressions, simple melodies, everything's pretty simple, and then just make it into just something as phenomenal and just mind-bending and mind-blowing as possible? The effort pays off. And for me, as a hardcore music nerd, it's going to be really satisfying for me to re-listen and just think about all these subtleties, wondering how they created this one tone, why they chose to mix this song like this compared to this song like that. Those are all kind of nerdy, fun stuff that I like to think about. But I think even like beyond that, like remember how I said you might be listening to this album and then like a background harmony will just kind of just present itself and you're going to get chills and start crying because it's somehow like a crescendo? Well, this record is full of that. It's full of that. And you just gotta just listen, and let Loveless show you what it's hiding inside, because it's hiding a lot. And I want to say this again. I know I've said it a million times. You gotta turn the volume up. You gotta turn the volume up. And I know every single record on the world sounds better, louder. And I know every single record in the world sounds better when you're listening to it on headphones while laying in bed compared to like on the train with your AirPods. That's true with every record, but with Loveless, it's not just better, it's like a necessity. Like if you're a music nerd, at some point, you gotta sit down and think and focus and feel. Just let it happen, let it feel. And that's so cool. I mean, it's so nerdy. Like, oh, what's your favorite album? Oh, mine is The Beatles. Why? Because I like the melodies and it's fun. Oh, mine is Loveless. Why is that? Oh, because when you combine all the building blocks of the record, it comes together in a sonic experience. That's not cool, that's nerdy. It's a nerdy record. I think shoegaze has become a genre that's very much associated with being trendy and cool and frankly very catchy and poppy. A lot of it is very poppy. But you gotta understand that Loveless, it is a work of art. It's not just a trendy whatever. It's a genuine work of art. And as much as I love the genre of shoegaze, I do buy into that cliche that Loveless created the genre and destroyed it all at once, because yes, you can find some Jesus and Mary Chain, A.R. Kane, 80s, shoegazy kind of records, but Loveless is like, this is shoegaze. Like it's just undeniably, completely 100% shoegaze. And then it's the best one. You create a genre and make the best album at the same time with that genre. I don't know. I know people will disagree with me on that. I know Slow Dive is fantastic, blah, blah, blah. Lots of fantastic shoegaze out there, but from an artistic perspective, I just feel like My Bloody Valentine just knocks it out of the park. So that's my review. Obviously, this is a 10. I mean, I listen to it all the time. All the time. I hate re-listening to the same album a million times. I much prefer to explore new albums. That's part of why I like being a music critic, because I actually enjoy listening to new albums for the first time. But Loveless is one of those where it's just like a classic. It's like Bach or Mozart. You know what I mean? It's like the Odyssey. It's like a classic in literature, or classic in it's like the Odyssey. It's a classic. Even if you don't like the classics, like you got to read the Odyssey because it's important and influential and interesting. And some people really like the Odyssey. I liked Loveless. So that's my review. I hope if you don't like this album, this is kind of helps you kind of understand the mindset to go into while listening to this, the things that a lot of people find appealing about it. Even though it's noise pop, I wouldn't really listen to it like a pop album. I feel like the sweet, delicious poppy melodies that kind of come in through it are really nice and pleasant, but they're not the main point. They're just an extra bonus that makes it an even more enjoyable listening experience. And I think it's best to listen to it as a work of art, an experimental avant-garde rock album. So thanks so much for watching. Oh man, I'm sweaty as heck. Why am I so sweaty? You know why I'm sweating is because I'm thinking of Loveless, and it makes me nervous because I love Loveless. I have a crush on Loveless, and it's making me sweat. Okay, that's all I have to say. No, it's actually really hot. I hate the summer. Just kidding. Punk Revolution. Please like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps my channel a lot. Please do it now. Go. Just kidding. Don't do it. No, do it. Okay, whatever you want. Punk Revolution now.